This man is a Valley judo fighter, fighting out of Liverpool, England, Michael Bisping!
Welcome to MMA Noise. I'm Mike Struck along with middleweight champion Michael Bisping. Nice to see you again, sir.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
So listen, I mean, there's a lot of things going on in your life right now, but I think one of the biggest questions I have for you is Anderson Silva and Dan Henderson, two legends that you beat. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. Good question. How do I feel? I mean, happy, of course. I always thought I could beat these guys. I always said I could beat Anderson Silva. Of course, Henderson beat me the first time round. He was juiced to the max. I was overtrained, whatever, you know, good for him. He got the job done the first time. I got to correct that one. Yeah, it feels good. You know, I've done this my entire life, and, you know, maximum respect to both those guys. But, yeah, no, it felt great.
Certainly, you know, you've been on both sides of the camera for a long, long time now, but as a broadcaster, do you see the fight game in a different way now that you're analyzing fights?
You know, not really. People like to say that. I hear a lot of analysts say, oh yeah, since I've been watching the fights, I understand it more now and I break it. Yeah. No, what the hell are you talking about? No, you don't. You know what I mean? If we're fighting, you think that me watching some tape is going to make me understand it a bit better? No, I was born a fighter. It's instinct. Fighting, you know, you got to feel the moment and this and that. If I'm watching tape on some idiot, yeah, great. I might see something new and think, oh, that's a really cool technique. I might try that out, things like that. But, you know, of course, you take influence from things you see, but it doesn't really improve you as a fighter. This is what fighting's about. It's about heart, you know, and skill, of course, but heart is the main thing. Have
you learned anything new, though, as being a broadcaster about fighters themselves? You know, because I'm sure you hear, why did you say that about me? My whole career, that's all I hear, you know, from fighters, especially guys that I think of my friends are like, Mike, why'd you say that about me? You know?
Yeah, I've learned that fighters, and I know this because I am also one, are sensitive assholes, you know, because you say one thing that they don't like on TV and they start talking shit and sending me messages and this and that. It's like, dude, I got to pick a fight. I got to pick someone to win. It's nothing personal. You know, and I hope you prove me wrong, you know, but like Eddie Alvarez, he wasn't too happy. I said a couple of things and he said something on Twitter, but we're cool now. We shook hands and we had a laugh about it. We had a joke, so he thought I wasn't a fan. Yeah, you know, I mean, that's just the way it is. It's a tough spot to be in, but we got to pick a winner, we got to pick a loser.
Well, you know, you and Eddie have a lot in common because you've both been, actually so does Conor. You know, everybody's been a champion in different organizations all around the world. But you know, the UFC obviously is the pinnacle of your career. But when it comes to a guy like Eddie Alvarez, he's a journeyman. And do you think? And Conor says he got lucky to be where he is. What are your thoughts on Eddie?
I don't think he got lucky to be where he is. Eddie's been around a long, long time. He's been fighting the best guys in the world for a long time, and he earned this title shot. He came to the UFC and he stumbled against Donald Cerrone, and that's a fact, and he took a bad beating, but that was his first time. Who knows? We talk about octagon jitters. Maybe it's a real thing. I don't know. But after that, he beat three of the best fighters in the world. He beat Gilbert Melendez, who was a Strikeforce champion. Then he beat Anthony Pettis, who again was the UFC champion. Then he took the belt from Dos Anjos. You know, these are three of the best guys in the world in the toughest weight division. They're all well-rounded people. They weren't overly impressive victories. They weren't like, oh my God, he knocked him out. But he got the job done, and he beat the three best guys in the world consecutively. So he definitely earned his spot. Of course, Conor's going to say those things. He's trying to get into his head and make him doubt himself. And good for him. You know, it all adds to the theatrics. But no, Eddie certainly earned his spot here.
You know, one thing I loved about Eddie when he fought Dos Anjos is that he said, I'm on Fight. People see it, oh, how do you feel being on Fight Pass? He said, I don't care. I'm fighting for the lightweight championship of the world. Now that you're sort of on both sides of the camera and a company guy yourself, tell me about Fight Pass.
Oh, well, you know, listen, it's just another platform. You know, the UFC is getting so big and they're good businessmen. And, you know, Fight Pass is another one of their avenues, and they're trying to build that. How do you build it? You build it by putting good fights on that people care about. You know, you got to do that from time to time. Well, I fought Anderson Silva on Fight Pass, you know, and yeah, it would have been nice if that was on pay-per-view because it was a great fight and more people would have seen it. But ultimately, you know, it was still at a sold-out arena in London, at the O2 Arena, and it was a great fight. It was amazing. You know, I still got paid very, very handsomely for it. So, you know, yeah, pay-per-view, there is more prestige, but that's just, you know, it's life.
Well, we got John Morgan here. It's funny because, you know,
John, good to see you,
Mike. Good to see you, brother.
John and I and Michael have been in this business for a very long time, and I think it's just great that the first fight in New York, we're all here together. What are your thoughts on the MSG?
I'm excited, man. The crowd that we've seen all week long has been fired up. I mean, just the press conference that we just got done with, just so rowdy. It was incredible, man. I think it's gonna be top-notch experience.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. As you say, the press conference was it was nuts. We did a little show for Fox Sports on that, and yeah, man, it certainly delivered. Conor, love him or hate him, the guy delivers excitement each and every time. Even his press conferences have become an event.
UFC Middleweight Champion Michael Bisping, John Morgan, MMA Junkie, I'm Mike Straka for MMA Noise. Until next time, enjoy the fights.